Hagiographic as adjective, characterized by an excessively flattering or reverential portrayal of a person or their actions. Relating to or resembling hagiography, which involves idealizing or excessively praising someone, often a saint or a person regarded as highly virtuous. The biography offered a somewhat hagiographic view of the historical figure. Her speech was criticized for its hagiographic portrayal of the leader. The documentary took a slightly hagiographic approach to the artist's life. The writer's account of the event had a mildly hagiographic tone. The article's perspective on the subject was overly hagiographic and lacked critical analysis. Bumbling as adjective, behaving or acting in a clumsy, awkward, or inefficient manner, characterized by clumsiness or ineptitude in actions or speech. His bumbling attempts at fixing the machinery only made the situation worse. The bumbling waiter spilled drinks on several patrons during the evening rush. She made a bumbling effort to explain the complex topic, confusing her audience further. His bumbling mannerisms often led to awkward social interactions. The bumbling in turn struggled to complete tasks efficiently, often making errors. Elude as verb, to escape or avoid something by cleverness, cunning, or trickery. To slip away from or evade someone or something by agility, cunning, or skill. The suspect managed to elude the police by running down an alleyway. The answer to the riddle continued to elude her, even after several attempts. Despite her best efforts, success seemed to elude her at every turn. The elusive bird was difficult to find and often eluded even experienced birdwatchers. The meaning of the poem eluded the literary scholars, who debated its interpretation for years. Snub as verb, refuse to acknowledge or speak to someone, reject or ignore someone or something in a rude or dismissive manner. He snubbed her by not returning her phone call. The company snubbed the proposal, rejecting it without proper consideration. She snubbed her former boss at the networking event. The team snubbed the new member, not including him in the project. The author felt snubbed by the lack of attention given to his latest book. Eradicate as verb, to completely destroy or eliminate something, especially a harmful or undesirable thing. To root out and destroy completely, as if by pulling up by the roots. The vaccination campaign is aimed at eradicating the spread of the virus. The government is working to eradicate poverty in the country. The use of pesticides is helping to eradicate the disease. The company is taking steps to eradicate the use of single-use plastics. The police are working to eradicate drug trafficking in the area. Hamper as noun, a large basket, typically with a lid and handles, used for carrying or storing household items or provisions. An obstacle or hindrance that prevents or impedes progress or success. She packed a hamper full of food and drinks for their picnic in the park. The hamper was filled with fresh fruit, sandwiches, and a bottle of wine. The company gave each employee a hamper of holiday treats as a gift. The hamper of gifts included a variety of chocolates and sweets. The hamper of baby items was a thoughtful gift for the new parents. Specious as adjective, appearing to be true or valid, but actually being false or misleading, having a deceptive or false appearance of being reasonable or well-founded. The company's claims of environmentally friendly practices were specious, as they continued to pollute the air and water. The politicians' arguments were specious and lacked evidence. The salesman's promises were specious and turned out to be empty. The writer's specious reasoning undermined the credibility of the entire article. The defendant's alibi was deemed specious by the prosecutor. Irresolute as adjective. Indecisive or lacking firmness of purpose. Uncertain about what to do or which way to go. Weak-willed or easily swayed. Prone to changing one's mind. She was irresolute about whether to accept the job offer. He was irresolute in his decision-making. The team's performance was affected by their irresolute coach. Her irresolute attitude caused delays in the project. The company's future was uncertain due to the CEO's irresolute actions. Hedge is noun. A protective or defensive measure taken to reduce the risk of financial loss. A row of bushes or small trees planted close together, often used as a barrier or boundary. The garden was surrounded by a tall hedge, providing privacy and shade. The company used financial hedges to protect themselves against market risks. He used a hedge to separate his property from his neighbors. The politician's answer was full of hedges and evasions, trying to avoid a direct response. The player used a hedge to shield himself from the other team's defenders. Artless is adjective, being natural and unassuming, without affectation or insincerity, lacking artifice or pretense, genuine and unassuming. The politician's artless speech failed to win over the crowd. Her artless charm and natural beauty made her stand out in the modeling industry. The painting was criticized for its artless composition and lack of depth. The author's artless writing style was refreshing and accessible to readers of all ages. The singer's artless performance was endearing to the audience, despite her lack of technical skill. Spurious as adjective. False, fake, or counterfeit, especially with the intention of deceiving or misleading, having a false appearance or claim of being genuine or authentic. The evidence against the suspect turned out to be spurious. The company's profits were based on spurious accounting practices. The politician's promises were revealed to be spurious after he was elected. The claim that the product can cure cancer is spurious. The rumor about the celebrity's death was spurious. Profusion was known. A great quantity or flow, especially of a particular substance. An abundance or excessive amount of something, often in a lavish or generous manner. The museum contained a profusion of beautiful artwork. The garden was filled with a profusion of colorful flowers. The writer's work was characterized by a profusion of ideas. The market had a profusion of fresh produce. The internet has made a profusion of information available to us.
Winsome is adjective, likable, charming, and attractive, pleasing in appearance, especially in a charming or innocent way. Her winsome smile and kind demeanor made her a popular figure in the community. The movie's winsome protagonist charmed audiences with her wit and grace. The singer's winsome voice captured the hearts of listeners around the world. The artwork features winsome scenes of nature and wildlife. The book's winsome illustrations perfectly complement the heartwarming story.
Appreciable as adjective. Capable of being appreciated or valued. Large enough to be noticed or measurable. The increase in salary was appreciable, but not enough to make a significant difference in my standard of living. The difference in performance between the two laptops was appreciable, with one being significantly faster than the other. The company made an appreciable profit this year. There was an appreciable improvement in the quality of the product after the company made changes to its manufacturing process. The team's efforts resulted in an appreciable reduction in waste production. Appropriate as verb. To set apart for or assign to a particular purpose or use. To take for one's own use without permission or legal right. The company decided to appropriate funds for the new project. The government appropriated land for the construction of a new highway. She appropriated a portion of her salary for charity donations. The artist appropriated images from various sources to create a collage. The writer appropriated dialogue from real-life conversations to make the story more authentic. Adjudicate as verb. To make a formal judgment or decision about something, especially in a legal or official setting. The HR department was responsible for adjudicating employee complaints and grievances, working to resolve conflicts and maintain a positive work environment. The board of directors was responsible for adjudicating the company's proposed budget, reviewing financial reports and projections to make informed decisions. The school principal had to adjudicate a conflict between two students, hearing their perspectives and working to find a resolution. The referee had to adjudicate a questionable call during the game, consulting with the other officials and reviewing the footage before making a final decision. The International Court was established to adjudicate disputes between countries, working to prevent armed conflict and promote diplomacy. Grandiloquent as adjective. Pompous or extravagant in language, style, or manner, especially in a way that is intended to impress. His grandiloquent speeches were full of flowery language and exaggerated claims. The politician's grandiloquent promises were met with skepticism by the public. The salesman's grandiloquent pitch failed to convince the customer to buy the product. The artist's grandiloquent style was a reflection of his desire to create something unique and memorable. The writer's grandiloquent prose was admired by some, but criticized by others for being too ornate. Quip as verb. To make a clever or witty remark or comment. To make a sarcastic or humorous observation. He quipped that the restaurant should offer a discount for bad service. She quipped back a sarcastic remark that caught him off guard. The speaker quipped that he was glad he didn't have to sit through the boring presentation. He quipped about the strange decor in the room, making everyone chuckle. She quipped that she was too busy to help, but would gladly watch him struggle. Redress as verb. To correct or put right a wrong or injustice. To make amends for a wrong or injustice. The court ordered the defendant to redress the harm caused to the plaintiff. The company promised to redress the issue by offering refunds to affected customers. He sought to redress the imbalance of power between the two parties. The government is taking steps to redress the economic disparities in the country. The organization is committed to redressing social injustices. Exacting as adjective. Demanding or requiring great attention to detail and accuracy. Having high standards or strict requirements. The job demands exacting attention to detail. The teacher had very exacting standards for his students' essays. The work required a high degree of exacting precision. The project was an exacting challenge, but ultimately rewarding. The artist's exacting technique produced stunningly realistic portraits. Ready to boost your English or ace the GRE? Meet the GRE Vocabulary app, a fun and effective way to master language. Learn advanced words with examples and audio. Master idioms, proverbs, and phrasal verbs. Enjoy quizzes, flashcards, and pronunciation tests. Customize your practice by difficulty or focus. Translate into 100+ languages with ease. Did you learn new words? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share my channel. Download now and start your journey to vocabulary mastery.